Welcome to the MSDW podcast. I'm Jason Gumpert, editor at MS Dynamics World, and we are taking you back to Directions North America 2026 with a series of interviews I did with participants and sponsors. MSDW was a media partner of Directions North America, and we were there to cover the latest news from Microsoft and partners, as well as to hear from the community. In this episode, we bring you an interview with three product leaders at Truvio, Tim Kahne, Ari Liukko, and Scott Caudle. As you'll hear, Truvio has united several established ISV solutions in the Dynamics 365 ecosystem, from banking, finance, operations, and commerce, and they're building a forward-looking strategy now that aims to strengthen each element of their portfolio through product alignment and a focus on automation for D365 solutions. Truvio is also an MSDW sponsor, and we discuss some of the team's new plans and their outlook on Microsoft's recent announcements at Directions. So, Ari, welcome.
Well, thank you. So I'm Ari, I'm the product line lead for BC.
I'm Scott Caudle. I'm the product line lead for the banking and treasury automation solutions, and formerly the CEO of SK Soft.
All right, excellent. And Tim, welcome.
Yes, Tim Kahne. I'm the CTO of the SK Group, with SK Global for many, many years.
Right. And this is really, I would say, a very interesting moment in sort of the evolution of Truvio and what that means for the different organizations that have come together. I mean, Ari, maybe you could sort of start by telling me a little bit about, what's the go-forward strategy? Truvio formed out of, different technology groups and different organizations. How are you looking at the future?
Well, I think everything starts with customers and look at on how we can solve their challenges, daily challenges they have. And I mean, something that we see is that for customers today to find solutions that fills out the gaps that they have, that they need to work with a lot of different vendors, is a challenge for them. Same challenge for partners as well. So in then what we are doing and what we are bringing out is one unified solution end to end in the banking space, and we're doing the same thing in the commerce space. So it's really making easier for partners and customers to work together for us going forward.
We're at Directions North America here, and this was, I think, a chance. Thinking back to day one, we're on day 3 here, but this was a chance for Truvio to sort of introduce themselves, I think, to a lot of partners, sort of with the new brand and the new vision. What kind of reception have you had, or what kind of response have you heard as you've been at your booth, or maybe talking to partners, colleagues?
So in general, I've been massively positive on it and seeing that, because they see the opportunity to work with one partner on it and one great partner that has, brings innovation and things into the market. So I would say positives. A lot of questions, of course, around like, hey, how it's going with the merge and those parts. And I would like to say that's also working out really well. So yeah, now it's just getting the solutions out in the market.
Yeah. Can you say any more maybe about, the product cross-selling, or what customers need to know, or maybe what partners need to know about how the products will evolve in terms of, from the document automation side and the payable side versus maybe the banking side?
Yeah, I mean, it's great that you asked that question now. So, I mean, that's something that Scott and me will be working for the latest week on how to bring those together. I mean, Scott, do you want to build on that?
So maybe just a little background. In 2018, Tim and I and the other partner at SK Soft, we met with the owners of Xflow, and we did that because we were thinking about building an AP automation solution to add to the banking and treasury suite. And what we determined is that we didn't need to do that, because one already existed that would be just like what we would build. And we had the similar design approach. Our products are all embedded, whether that's F&O or BC. And that is the same approach that Xflow has. So we saw a natural combination. We started actually working together 5-6 years ago, actually. And our thesis was that was a perfect complement to our banking and treasury, because it's the same ICP. It's the same customer profile that's looking for the end-to-end solution from invoice to pay. And that same time frame, Tim and our technical team, we extracted all of the banking connectivity technology into Azure, into an Azure platform, and we did that to be able to accelerate the pace of innovation. So at any given week, we may be working on 8 to 10 different integration points to banks around the world. We have global connectivity engine. It is very difficult to do that within like an ERP type of environment. So again, those are some of the things that now, as we look at AI and where we are with the agentic world, we're looking to agentify our bank connectivity to make it available not only to our products, but also to our partners who may want to be able to do bank connectivity through an agent workflow. So I think you're going to see in this year, you will see agent-driven process, both with inside BC as well as within our Bank Fabric product as well.
Yeah, interesting. I can imagine that partners of yours are kind of excited to be able to sort of take that story to customers, right? It sounds like you already putting a lot of thought into it, have a sort of a roadmap in place of where you want to take that, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're even meeting with other complementary ISVs that are common in the BC space because we want to be good peer partners. So we not only make sure that our product works well with Microsoft and the Microsoft updates there, but if we know of a partner product that's very common in BC, we also do certification to make sure that works with that peer product. So we think we're not just a solution provider on the outside. Most of the people in Truvio have worked inside the BC product for a very long time, either in finance, accounting, and they know the workflows, so they connect really well with the partner channel.
Any maybe anything you're hearing from partners that they're bringing to you in meetings at this event that has resonated with you?
I think there might be some questions about where we are the best fit. So in the F&O space, it is more mid-market enterprise focus. In BC, it covers a very wide range of customers, so maybe all the way from micro customers that are 1 to 10 million and then all the way up to billion. And we believe that we serve both categories. We serve both the SMB and the enterprise space. Tim, I'd like you to speak just a little bit about the origin of SK customer base because I think you might have a gain of perspective on where we've been in SMB.
Sure. Thanks, Scott. So again, the base of our development of our connectivity solution and banking solution came from the Solomon area. And that was obviously SMB beginning. And so the banking solution leveraged from that. It turns out in that environment, we didn't have a connectivity product, but then when we got to SK Soft, that's what we added. And Scott talking about AI and AI first. We're pushing that quite hard. We're going very, very fast as much as we can because obviously that's very important. But we want to stress that the reliability of that platform with AI involved is very, very important. You can't risk having payments going into a hallucination at some point. So that's obviously continuing to be a layer that we put on top of everything that we do to secure that connectivity solution.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, it's really an area of where risk management is incredibly important, right? And I imagine that that's something that you have to prove to your customers, but also your partners constantly as you roll out new technology.
Yeah, and in fact, we're layering on some new technology to meet with that kind of trust and control piece to make sure that that fraud can't be committed, and that any of those payments and statements that we're getting in are well secured. It's very, very important to us.
I mean, can you talk about maybe some of the challenges or hurdles that you had to overcome, or maybe just concerns that you had to address to make this trustworthy, to make it sort of managed in terms of risk?
Yeah, well, it comes from our connection with banks and our experience over many, many years. So I've been in this business for well over 30 years, and much of our team are very experienced when it comes to banking connectivity. Right. And so it's that expertise. I mean, when we talk about AI, continued discussion is about domain expertise. And that's so important when you're building products and you're supporting products. It's one thing to have an agent that does something, but you have to have people that understand how it's been used and how the customer appreciates its use.
Okay. Customers who have some of the banking needs that your solution meets, they also have automation needs. They also have commerce needs with their clients. I mean, I know that as the Truvio group has sort of come together with the different areas of expertise and stuff, can you maybe give me an update on the latest thinking and how you plan to talk to customers who maybe are already engaged with the SKSoft solution, but have commerce needs that maybe aren't being met, or other combinations right now?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's what we're working on now. So we see that we already, when we came together, we already saw that we had a few joint customers. So we know like these solutions are working together and driving benefits for our customers. Now it's more about like how to create a great customer experience around getting both of those solutions in place. When it comes like how to acquire those, how to get up running with them, how to get benefit from that. So that's in the work. You're going to see some news from us coming on that quite soon in there. And the same thing like on the commerce side, like what we did, like started to do directly, see like hey, what are values that commerce can bring really to our BC partners and for BC customers. And one of those areas was PIM, where the team built out that PIM solution within BC, because we know our partners love to be within BC when they do that work. So that's a few things that are out there for now.
Microsoft's been obviously eager to get vendors like Truvio to invest in more agents, to show the world that sort of they align with it. Has there been any work on your team along those lines, sort of working with Microsoft, trying to align on agents? Maybe, I know, Scott, you talked about that, but is there anything else on that we should talk about?
So when it comes to working directly with Microsoft on agents, that's something that we've done on F&O side, where we worked together with them and launched for Ignite. We haven't done any direct work together with Microsoft when it comes on the agent piece on the BC side, but we're for sure working with agents in there, and we're just launching our AI solutions on the BC within the coming months in there. So,
and I mean, just to give to get a bit more perspective on the AI, on the Business Central roadmap, Microsoft sort of shared some new things this week, I think, with the partners who are here. Is there anything else that caught any of your attention that you think has a lot of importance that we should be watching carefully from Microsoft?
No, but I think Scott can build on this as well. It's like the way that you take the keynote. Take the keynote from day one. Microsoft is getting into space of into payroll space and getting expense management space on it. That's something that's great for us in ICV. Just more like, where can we extend that? Our baseline has been like extending from BC. Now we're going to see what's like new baseline on it. And I think that's good for us as an ICV, because we need to evolve on it. And the benefit we have is, of course, that we always really close to customers, so we know what those actual final needs are. So I think that's probably like from day one, the innovation, the speed that the R&D team is doing, putting those products. Day two, I would say, like, when it comes to AI, Microsoft is coming with a lot of solutions around AI. But then it really comes like, how do you bring that AI into a process? How does that AI support you across the process? Not just within your dev space, but more supporting the process across the business around that. So I think that's an interesting space. And I was at a really great session yesterday that one of the partners were sharing on how they are bringing AI into their business and doing. That's really resonated really well with the keynote that Microsoft had on a higher level, and seeing a partner taking actions on that. So,
just to add a little bit to that. So, one of the things that Truvio is very well positioned is to serve the needs of more complex enterprises that are implementing BC. So if you think about, a larger mid-market or a hub and spoke type implementation of BC, maybe a multinational, we have that coverage. So as Truvio, we can cover the compliance requirements for payments in any country in the world with our Bank Fabric engine, but we also handle the workflow piece. So in Europe, if you need to have AP automation in Sweden, and it's very bespoke to Sweden, we have that. In Europe, we can do the same. So I think Microsoft's strategy probably is a little bit of a land strategy in kind of the middle of BC and the core requirements, where we're already in the other end of the spectrum. So we have a higher end, I'll say, configurability. And Tim mentioned trust and control. So trust and control is going to become foundational to all of our products. So we're trying to bring assurance to the process. I think there's a lot of concern right now about AI and whether or not it can be trusted. Our solution has been trusted for well over 25 years by thousands of customers around the world. We intend to amplify that, not decrease it with agentic AI. So in 1 year's time, it will be Truvio 1. You will only hear about Truvio and Truvio solutions, and you will engage one Truvio person that will represent the commerce, the payments, the payables automation solution. And it will be agentic. And it will have safeguards, and it will have thresholds. We're going to put a dashboard concept, command center concept together around our products, that you'll be able to see the evidence of things like, fraud detection. So if you're a U.S. customer, you may not be aware of this, but if you send payments on the ACH rail, there are new requirements for that, for account verification, verifying the vendor has, in fact, the rights to that bank account, or who is the vendor even, that are they real, as well as like being able to do detection in the process if there's any anomalies. We are bringing that to market. That's going to be part of our package. So these are some of the differentiation points that are going to be coming in 2026.
Yeah, very interesting. I mean, the other thing that makes me think of is some of underneath a lot of this sort of the excitement or the hype over AI is kind of a need to have really great fundamentals underneath it. And it keeps coming back up. And I think that's, like you said, Ari, on the process side. And I know Microsoft has efforts that maybe seem more focused on the F&O world with business process and the business process catalog and trying to involve partners in that. And I assume that'll eventually reach BC more, but I haven't heard anything here about it. But then I think also like data and regulatory strength or compliance strength, security strength, those all seem to underlie it. And I assume your partners really need to strengthen that story. It sounds like they turn to you to kind of help them tell that story to some extent?
They do. I mean, very frequently we get involved in the technology side of a company's business where they'll send us this really long questionnaire. Are you certified in this? Are you certified in that? And when the answer is yes, we do all those things because that's what we had to do to be relevant in that space. So we're not new to the space. As Tim said, we've been doing this. He's been working in it for 30 years. So we're really deem ourselves as the SMEs in payments and connectivity globally. And so just to speak about the business process catalog, we at Truvio have, in essence, a business process catalog ourselves. So we track a product catalog with feature points, and we map them to value streams, and we know where the value streams are inside of BC and where we fit in and where we can extend. And as Ari said, as Microsoft maybe increases their functionality, we will still come in behind them and provide additional value. So we're very confident in our roadmap, both for our existing customers as well as the new customers coming into the family of BC.
This has been another episode of the MSDW podcast. My thanks once again to Ari, Tim, and Scott, and to the Directions North America organizing team. For more on Truvio, you can visit truvio.com or check out their presence on MSDW at msdynamicsworld.com/vendor/Truvio. And for all of our Directions North America coverage, check out our event coverage page, msdynamicsworld.com/Directions North America 2026. And that's it for this episode. If you want to get in touch with me, you can send me an email, jason@msdynamicsworld.com. For all of our updates, please do follow us on LinkedIn. Until next time, this is MS Dynamics World, signing off.